And yet another video in the world of Mr. Ink, and yet another problem. As you can judge from the thumbnail of this video, I discovered a little problem with Mr. Ink on doing some pre-MOT testing. Luckily I did. I'm pressing the rear washer. I couldn't see any fluid coming out on the back screen. Oh, well, I can hear the motor. Oh yeah, there's nothing coming out. The front wipers, perfect. Lots of power, lots of fluid pressure on the screen, no blockages from the jets, all good. And I kept looking around at the back thinking, oh, where's it going? I'll tell you where it was going. Straight into the boot. Welcome to another Mark 1 problem. And this is how we fix it. We seem to have a bit of a problem here. Yes, everybody, this is a serious problem in the world of Mark 1 focuses. I suspect the only Mark 1 to not have this issue yet consistently is the saloon. If you have a hatchback or estate, over time, the opening and closing of the back tailgate will break the washer pipe, and the wires become fragile in here. Now, there are many repair kits for this, particularly the wiring. The wiring is the known fault. However, the washer pipe is becoming more of a common fault these days. They go brittle, they're plastic, and they just snap, and it's the winter, and it has just gone at this time of the year. Whether or not it happened just before my ownership, I don't know. But it's a good job I checked, because there was absolutely nothing coming through that hole there. What it was doing was I could just see a pool, as you can see, of screen wash, which has just left a stain, coming across here, going all the way down this back pillar, which I've removed with just a single screw here, down here, and just, oh, it made a total and utter mess. I had to clean all this up, and it's just about dried up, but my goodness me, it left a mess. So I've had to take that pillar out by just pulling it away from its mounting clips, just a couple here, and a Phillips screw that I had to take out. And then you take these two clips out, go here and here, and just slacken the rear light, and then we can get the headlining down and see what we've got. Now, the culprit that's gone is the pipe. Now it goes through here, okay, so it goes through the body. We've got the screen wash goes through that way, comes forward, and it joins to the plastic pipe here. Now the only reason I think Ford use a flexible pipe for the headlining and a plastic going through here is a plastic is a bit more durable. It's a bit more of a force to be reckoned with, put it that way, because there's all sorts of plastic grommets to keep the wiring all together, where it goes through the grommet into the backlight. And I think using a soft pipe may cause squashing of the pipe and blockages and pressure build-up. However, as far as I'm concerned, this is the only way of dealing with it. 3mm standard screen wash pipe. You can either order the black stuff like this or the clear stuff. It doesn't really matter, but I've ordered a couple of meters of that, and that's all we're going to use, because that's what's going to fit onto the back of the rear light assembly. It's as simple as that. Now this isn't going to be a complete repair because I've discovered yet another problem. But anyway, we are going to have to, well, what we will do is we will use this bit of the plastic pipe, and I'm going to cut it a bit shorter than that. Where is that other? Ah, there it is. This is the bit that broke off. So this is the bit that goes through, and this is the bit that attaches to the back of the high-level rear brake sort of lens, where you've got the hole that it comes through the lens. And this is the bit that snapped over the many years, leaving a total mess. So the only way of permanently repairing it is putting that pipe through the back. So that way we're going to have to get the lens out. One. Oh dear. We've got a bit of a problem. And that's where it latches onto, and it goes through that hole onto your back screen. However, I've had to order a new one of these because it's bust. Oh my gosh, it's falling to pieces. Someone has put yellow tape on this to connect the lens, which, you know, the lens is in good condition. It's falling apart all over the place. To the actual light connector. Now, I'll just take off the wiring. That wiring should be, that's broken as well. It should be taped up. That wire should be taped up with that and that. But this is another thing that I'm going to have to replace. Lovely. Well, I'll get that on the order books. But for the time being, that's going to have to go back on because I need this car for a bit later. But yeah, you can order these pieces separately. The lens and the back are two separate pieces. This is its own parts number. So I'm going to leave that there for the time being because I'm going to have to get the pipe through this bit here. Right, to just get access to this grommet, you're going to have to press on these tabs from the underside. That'll be ideal to get that up, okay? And then you've got some tabs on here. You're just going to have to stick the screwdriver in and just layer in as best as possible. It's actually gone back in, but it will eventually come out. There we go, lovely. Okay, it's gone. It will snap back, but you can see you've got a tab there that you've got to push in and then pull the whole thing. So there we go. You've got the wire in there. You've got the wire in there, which separates into two pieces. But we don't want to put too much stress on that wire loom, but it looks like it's in really good condition. So leave it for the time being. And we're going to have to use that. You see that hole there where my finger is, this circle bit? That's where the pipe goes through. That's what separates the pipe from the wiring loom. And what we've got to do now is thread a load of this through in the right size. So we've got to put it through here and then try and thread it through. So forgive me, I'm going to put the camera down, but you're just going to have to thread it through and try and get it out the other side. Right. What I've found easier is to try and get it, you might have to use a piece of string to pull it through, but I've managed to get that to come through both sides nicely. Now what we do is we need to put this down into the head lining, okay? Okay, just bring it through, okay. This is a common problem with Mark 1s. It's not just the wiring that goes, it's the washer pipes that do break, and this is the only way of doing it more permanently. Now, I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter in a second. We're going to leave that there. I'm going to probably make a cut, probably leaving quite a bit of distance because I want to be generous about this. So we get a bit of room. There we go, lovely. That's good enough, lovely. Now, I'm going to thread the rest of this in up here and try and get it round at the top side. This is going to be a bit of a faff, I can assure you, but just keep threading it through and it will go through. Right. Can't quite see it. If you can't see it, oh, I can see it. Goodness me, your fingers. Oh, come on. Just need you to come over here, Sonny. There we go, lovely. And that's a generous amount of pipe, that is. And that's what's going to connect to the back of here. Okay. Now we can adjust that length quite a bit, but let's just open this up again. Okay, so we are there and we're in a good position. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just push this in. There we go, that's clicked in, and we just want this to sort of click in as well. We've got a lot of slack going on there, and push this in. Lovely, job done. If that's not pushing all the way in, might have to push the tabs in on the other side because they do get a bit weak over time. These do. Might have to get my heat gun to that. That is a way of water getting into the cabin, so I will look to doing that in a second. No, it's not too bad actually. It can be worse, but basically now we've got all this free play at both sides. So what I suggest we do is a bit of cutting. Now I'm going to cut this plastic pipe to about here, so we've only got this short section to bridge the old rubber pipe and the new one, okay? Good. Lovely. Just a bit of excess. Now, we've got quite a big opening here and some screen wash. Now that hole may not fit over that plastic pipe, and what we've got to do now is cut this to the length that we want. We want it to be, I want it to have a bit of give, but I think cutting it about there will do. Lovely. Job done. Okay, now what we need to do is make this a bit more supple. It's hard at the moment, it's a cold day. So what I suggest, to make it go over the plastic pipe a bit more easier, a bit of heat, just a bit of heat. Right, try and not burn anything. There we go, lovely. We've managed to get it over, because that's what they did in the factory. They just heated the end up and got it over the pipe. Now there's a little bit of slack in there, but I want a little bit of slack. Now I've pulled the rest of it through, but we've given ourselves a bit of slack there, because there needs to be a little bit just for the opening and close. So I'm going to make that deliberately slack, because that will give a little bit more free play in terms of closing this up. Now I'm going to repair the rest of that on another day, but yeah, it's just a simple case of unclipping the whole thing, which you do with these tabs. What the hell? And then the whole thing will just come off, but I'm going to replace that separately on another day, but for the purposes of this episode it's perfect. So I think we might need to cut that just a little bit more now we've got that slat built in. I always want a little bit of slat there, and I'll give myself a bit of play in the future, instead of it being so strictly limited Ford. Yeah, Ford cost cutting and all that. There we go, that's good enough. I think that's more than generous enough. It just allows me a little bit of play to just pop this over the end. Now I just want to make sure, actually, just before we connect it to that we have got some flow. Okay, here we go. Oh, we definitely have there. That's lovely. Yes, that is absolutely beautiful. We've got a lot of flow going through there. That's what you want to see. Now I might need to just unblock this jet, because I think this jet has gone a bit blocked over the years. I'll just put a pick through there, and that is that. That's done, guys. So all you guys need to know, just open this up again, very carefully. I just wanted to check that there was no binding going on. The instinctive reason why Ford fitted this system in the first place. Well, basically, guys, there is no leaks at all, okay? Well, as I say, we've got some evidence of what has happened. It's all right, mostly fiberglass on this headlining. They don't usually get damaged in that way. But basically, I'll put this back on, and these clips, and I'll keep this as spare, and these two can go in the bin of shame. There you go, guys. An all-important fix in the world of Mark 1 Focuses, a fix that is becoming all too common. So if you are having this issue, just do it this way, because it's the best way of dealing with this. Otherwise, yeah, it's not fun when you go for the MOT and they're like, oh, your jet's not playing, your jet's not doing anything, and then you find a swimming pool in the boot. Anyway, you take care. I'll see you in another episode. Lots to do. Take care.